I shouldn't have to follow that. I'm just saying. I'm not left-handed, so your cars are good. Okay, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Amanda Bledsoe. She and I have been friends for years. She's my doctor. She has helped me out of more situations. I met her when I was rear-ended in a car accident several years ago, and she came to my rescue. So ever since, I go on a regular basis. So I highly would recommend her and her team. They're awesome. And they're also wonderful for migraines. She has saved my 15-year-old from migraines without medication, so whoop whoop. Okay, Dr. Bledsoe is blessed to have a wonderful family, including her husband, Adam, a Faulkner County Sheriff's Department, husband Adam, a Faulkner County Sheriff's Deputy Public Information Officer and School Resource Officer, a 7.5-year-old daughter, Audrey, and a 3-year-old son, Hunter. They're both adorable. Dr. Bledsoe enjoys spending time with her family, traveling, scrapbooking, photography, and reading. She is involved in serving the Bethlehem House through her church, which is the Robinson and Center Church of Christ. In 2006, Dr. Amanda Bledsoe joined Hurley Chiropractic team and began educating the community on health and wellness. With Dr. Hurley's leadership, Dr. Bledsoe became an integral part of the Hurley Chiropractic team, allowing even more lives to be changed to become partners with Dr. Hurley in March of 2015. From the beginning of her career, she had a passion for taking the chiropractic message to masses and has participated in many health fairs, expos, and speaking engagements. When she joined Hurley, she received even more training and passion from Dr. Hurley's vision with her years of experience. Dr. Bledsoe has demonstrated a gift for speaking and truly enjoys talking about all aspects of health and wellness to any group she is blessed to share with. She is high energy and passionate about the benefits of a health chiropractic lifestyle. She herself walks the talk, and because of this, she is in high demand of companies of all sizes. Women's and senior groups at churches, civic organizations, and other hobby groups and banks. Let me say, she's speaking in my bank next Friday. She is highly sought after. She's a highly sought after speaker and travels around the country speaking on behalf of chiropractic education to fellow chiropractors. She also consults chiropractors and clinics on chiropractic marketing implementations. Could we have any more big words in here? Always interested in improving herself, Dr. Bledsoe became a member of Toastmasters and participated in the Dale Carnegie course on effective communication and human relations, as well as the high-impact presentations. Dr. Bledsoe has been very involved with the Conway Area Chamber of Commerce and has given her time and energy to represent Hurley in her desire to see Conway grow stronger every day. Then in 2007, she was awarded the Young Business Leader of the Year by Conway Chamber of Commerce because of her efforts. She also participates in a number of other groups and speaks on behalf of the Hurley Chiropractic team regularly. Her previous experience is the Hurley Clinic on October 2006 to current, the Valonia Chiropractic Clinic July of 2006 to October 2006, and also the Blackman Chiropractic Clinic from August of 2005 to July of 2006. She is an Atkins High School graduate in 1998, the University of Central Arkansas, Conway, Arkansas, graduated 2002 with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology, Cleveland Chiropractic College, Kansas City, Missouri in 2005, a Doctor of Chiropractic, and postdoctoral training, National Board of Chiropractic Examiners diplomat. Is that right? Okay. Professional qualifications is the Arkansas Board of Chiropractor Examiners. She's been licensed since 2005. She does a super job. She will come and speak at any event that you contact her to come and speak at. She always draws a great crowd. I've worked beside her in many of these events, and she is just a joy and a treat to be with. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Amanda Bledsoe.
Thank you, Deanna. As soon as I get back to the office, I'm going to shorten my bio. It's a little lengthy. So I appreciate getting to speak with you guys. I think I visited years ago, but it's been a long time since I've got to be with you, so I'm honored to be here. I did get to speak last week in Las Vegas, and I was originally slated to speak on Friday of a weekend conference, and I got bumped by none other than Pete Rose. So I'm honored that I didn't get bumped today, and I get to speak to you guys. And I love it. So I've got a brand new talk that I put together for you. I have a lot of different ones, and I pulled some together to really kick off the year right for you guys. I'm talking about health and wellness, and it's a very important topic, and we'll just jump right in. As you probably have picked up on from life, our lives have changed over the last, many, many years, and even from when you were younger to now, even over my 36, 37 years of life, health has changed. And we don't see health the same. We don't move as much. That's a big part that Deanna wanted me to speak about was fitness, and it's a great topic for January because it's on a lot of people's minds, right? How many of you made resolutions for this year? Anybody make resolutions? Great. Goals for this year? Even better, because that usually carries you past January. So in life, like I mentioned, let's see if this is going to work. There we go. So years ago, Americans walked approximately 12 miles every day. Did any of you walk 12 miles yet today, or walk here? Probably not. It's a little chilly, although, like you say, Montana, this doesn't feel nearly as chilly. I went to Colorado for the first time over Christmas, skied, not a skier. My whole family, not skiers. We're going to have to try that again in a few years, maybe when my kids are older. But this feels warmer now compared to -10. I'd never experienced -10. So maybe grateful for 70 degrees on Christmas when you go feel what -10 feels like. So we don't walk 12 miles every day anymore. Thus, we have to work a little harder to get our bodies in motion. Today we're lucky, if you do keep up with steps, to get 3,000 steps, much less 12 miles. And as a country, we're not getting enough motion in our daily lives because most of us are chained to a desk and a computer. How many of you sit at a desk for at least 6 hours a day? That's a good majority of us. So we're not getting much, so it takes more effort. It doesn't just naturally, that's the biggest change over the last 100 years, is it just doesn't occur as naturally. Therefore, you have to try to carve it into your so busy schedules of when are you going to exercise. So we're going to talk a little bit about health and fitness, and it's a really important topic because if you don't have your health, at some point you're at least moderately healthier. You couldn't be here today, so congratulations, you at least could get out of bed and get in a car and get over here, but we could maybe talk about getting beyond that. So again, health today has gotten a lot faster, and even this is pretty dated, the 8-minute workouts and shortcut healthcare. So things are changing in healthcare, and we're going to get to some suggestions on how to fix that. I always say at the beginning of my talks, I have to kind of get you to where we are, and sometimes that's a little bit negative, but then I'm going to show you some solutions before we're done. So American lifestyle, pain is pretty common. If you were doing something as good for you as exercising, assuming you were, you usually stop as soon as pain comes along. Then unfortunately these things start coming about really easily right after that. That's just a really, really common scenario, which then ends up with us spending a lot on health care. And again, if you really boil it down, it's more sick care, not fun money to spend. If I was going to spend $2 trillion, I could find a lot more fun ways to spend money than on health or sick care, really. So I'm going to go over some secrets in healthcare today. It's always nice to get ahead of the rest of the world and know some secrets that not everybody knows. And so everyone knows the basic concepts of health and wellness, or do they? That's what we're going to get to next. Exercise is a basic. Eating well is a basic. Having healthy thoughts is supposed to be a basic. And creating healthy habits in their lives. So my question initially is, do they? Those sound really basic, but most of the time when folks are looking to get healthier, they're looking for something magical that's outside of this list, right? Because we're supposed to know how to be healthy, but knowing is a whole lot different than doing, right? So that's where the action steps. I went to a seminar last weekend, so I know more stuff. And then the choice when I come back is, what am I going to do with that? So that's the same thing with health. So we're going to dig into that just a little bit because I do think we know about it, we're just not doing anything. So we're going to look at how to determine if you're healthy or not. We're going to look at some of the most significant sources of wellness, and most importantly, some simple steps, because again, that list was pretty simple. It's just taking some simple steps, and the main thing again is doing it. So have I got your attention a little bit? You're curious about these secrets, hopefully. So again, here are the 3 best secrets that we're going to dig into. What does it really mean to be healthy and well? What's the root causes of being sick, and what are the uncommon strategies to live a wellness lifestyle? with vibrant health. And the main reason I say uncommon is because as a nation, we're pretty sick. So these must be uncommon or everybody would be doing them, right? And we would be a lot healthier if we were. So number one, what really is health? And so health, by the World Health Organization definition, is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So most of us don't have a disease or infirmity today, and you're here, but are you completely 100% physically, mentally, socially healthy? Maybe, maybe not. Second best secret is some 3 basic causes of why people do get sick in the first place. It's January, it's cold, cold and flu season, a little more prevalent. This is a good time of year to know these things. So first, you might be sick because you need something. You're deficient in something. I would venture to say every single person in here is deficient in vitamin D. I've tested it out and eaten all the super healthy vitamin D foods, and my vitamin D still went down without daily supplementation. If you don't go outside at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with your forearm exposed, you are probably, that way sunlight can make vitamin D, you're probably vitamin D deficient. So there's other things you may be deficient on that mean you're not quite as 100% healthy. So knowing that, that's one cause of disease. Second, we may have too much of something. We live in a country of excess, really. So sometimes we get a little too much, maybe even today, carbs or chemicals or some things that are in your control, some that are not in your control, that we just live pretty toxic on some things. Third cause of sickness could be just being out of balance, misaligned, and that's not just, I'm a chiropractor, so when I hear alignment, structural, I hear chiropractic, but alignment doesn't just mean structure, it's also emotional out of alignment. That's an important piece of sickness too. So most people, again, might be familiar with being deficient or being toxic, but most people are unaware about the importance of being in alignment. And again, I really want you to think about, I'll come back to that one, I want you to think about this one first. Alignment is just not about the spine, it's alignment of your emotions, alignment of your life. Are you living congruently? When you really start thinking about that congruent word, it comes up quite a lot. But here's one piece of physical alignment, probably the easiest one to address of the 3. It's critical to our good health because it's one of the most basic components. So what does that mean? Your human body is controlled by your brain and a really smart nervous system. So anytime we talk about health, I like to remind people, you do have a good, smart body. Sometimes I hear people getting really hard on their body. Your body was created well, we're just hard on it. And then we forget how hard we are on it. I've had patients, by the end of the consult, they were in really bad shape, and I'm like, has something happened? Oh, one time I was in the Walmart and the roof collapsed while I was in Walmart. And we forget about these crazy big traumas in our life, We move on. If I'm not bleeding or dying today, I got things to do. So all the cumulative little traumas you had throughout your life do add up over the years, and it takes some work to realign these things. And we're going to get to fitness and how that helps. We're going to talk about a fun word, stress. Before then, stress in any part on the nervous system can result in a variety of health problems. And when you first hear stress, you think pulling your hair out, mental stress probably. Who has stress in their life? We'll see who's honest and who's lying. So all of us have some type of stressor. One of the most interesting and signs of how naive I was as a new doctor, at 25 years of age and seeing patients of all ages was I thought stress went away as you got older. And as I can attest at this age, and I've heard from many other patients, it does not go away, does it? It just changes form. I have a 3-year-old who, screamed all the way home from church last night. That's one type of stress. I met a lady one day, I was doing an event, I was actually speaking over at Conway Corp, and this lady had her 16-year-old son, had drove to school for the first time that day. That's a totally different kind of stress than my 3-year-old. I have my parents that are 60 that are more and more taking care of their parents that are 80. That's stress, right? So you're always going to have these stressors. It's how do you deal with them that can either affect you positively or negatively when it comes to your health. And it really does make a difference. Not just emotional stress, which is what I'm talking about specifically there, but those physical stress that adds up too. So another fun word to talk about is your posture. Almost the first thing that everybody that either meets me or comes in to see me is, I know, it's like a disclaimer as soon as they meet me, I have horrible posture. And that's a great awareness. And again, it's, are you willing to do anything about it? And do you even know that it's possible? That's a really nice hope that I can give people is you can go from really bad, terrible posture to being aware of your posture and to improving your posture. Just as if you can go from very unhealthy to healthy or very stressed out and more at peace and calm. That's all very possible. But when it comes to posture, how that affects your body it's almost like the flippant way people say I'm stressed out. You wouldn't necessarily just so proudly proclaim that if you were thinking about that's a 5-time increase of your risk of cancer from being stressed out on a regular basis. So when we put the why behind, I really don't want to be stressed out because I want to have good health. I really want to have better posture because it's really causing a chronic, tight, painful, inflamed situation in our body. Most of us, when we say I have bad posture, aren't thinking that you're admitting that you have that too. And again, there's something really nice that we can do about that. So here's some 4 pillars of a healthy spine. Posture. When you have better posture, I never say perfect because I don't have perfect posture, you minimize your stress on your body. So there is improvements to that. And when I get more into fitness, just briefly in a minute, if you've ever exercised, how many have ever had any kind of exercise routine ever in your life? Great. So that's fantastic. That's a lot of you. And I don't know if you remember, but you typically just naturally have a better posture. When you're getting on the treadmill, when you're doing some running, your posture improves the more you exercise. So that's a great way to think about the kind of the why behind exercising. You can be doing multiple things. Good for your cardiovascular, good for your posture. Movement. Life requires motion. So I always tell folks, I have a presentation called Healthy Living to 100. If you want to live to any age, you've got to move. You've got to exercise at least in some way that fits your lifestyle. And I always tell folks January is a good time because it's less of a dirty word to talk about fitness in January, that hopefully you go from I have to exercise to I want to exercise. I enjoy the benefits both socially, physically, and not to mention stress relief benefits from exercise. 2 other pillars of a healthy spine is strength, supporting that structure and movement. As we age, our bones do get a little more brittle, and that's where, again, the vitamin D and calcium comes in to help build those back up. Just as much as you can stop smoking and your lungs pink up and get healthier, you can be of any age and start doing a light exercise, even taking a water bottle at home and start moving those bones and muscles a little bit. Your bones can get healthier. Your vitamin D levels and calcium levels and bone density can go up. That's encouraging. And then balance. The result of using your body properly is going to help strengthen your spine. We're doing a lot of really great things now, especially with people about 40 and 50 up that are working on better balance. You know, balance is something that when you're younger, you're spinning around, you're riding roller coasters, you do all these things that keep your senses very good with balance. As you age, you don't do that as much. I don't even like roller coasters, so I don't think everybody here is riding roller coasters enough to keep good balance. But there's ways you can improve that without that, and ways that we can test that. So just a real basic explanation here of another type of misalignment is that vertebral subluxation. An affected nerve affects everything. So I don't want to talk completely about that, but I do want to say subluxation is real. It causes pain, weakness, and numbness. One of the things that I see the most is people have weakness and numbness, and they assume almost immediately, I'm having a stroke or a heart attack or I need surgery. I'm having a major issue, and we get rid of weakness and numbness very, very commonly. So that's probably my overall theme is there's hope. You can improve your balance, you can improve your posture, you can have less stress, you can start moving even if you never have, and you can get rid of things like pain, weakness, and numbness. The third of the best kept secrets is there are strategies to have better wellness and have vibrant health. Vibrant health. Doesn't that sound, does anybody want vibrant health? I don't know that I've ever, said it just like that, but it sounds amazing to me. And in January, again, a good time to go, this year, I want to have vibrant health. I think it sounds really good. So 5 basic components, again, that we're supposed to know about. Exercise is a biggie if you want to have a wellness lifestyle. And the thing about exercise, nobody's going to give you this magical slot of time. Shelly, when you're working, they're not going to say, hey, it's 4 o'clock, get out of here, it's time to go exercise. You're going to have to carve it out and make it happen, right? And that's the hard part. I can do some things for you structurally, and our team is amazing with that, but that's one small piece, and the rest is on you. All I can do is encourage you to really take care of your body's nutrition. So every time you're eating, you can be thinking, it's just food, or I'm feeding a Ferrari. I want to live to be 100. I'm going to think about my food 80% of the time, not counting today's lunch. Healthy thinking. You have a choice about how you think, and we in our profession, we recognize that a lot of health comes from negative thinking, and so we are I'll give you 2 stats, kind of following with Joe's stats there. So we are very boring thinkers as humans, so about 90% of what you think today, you thought yesterday in your head, and unfortunately, pretty close to 90% of it's negative. So you've heard before you're your own worst critic, but it's pretty true. But again, the encouraging thing, you can change how you think. You can decide how to be positive, and believe it or not, try it for a little bit. It will help your health. Healthy habits, so creating those things like drinking more water. I never like to speak without telling you the magic number for water. A good goal for this year is to try to hit your recommended amount of water. What was the old number? Somebody tell me the old number of how much water you should drink.
8 glasses.
8 glasses, thank you. So that works, Jim, if you weigh 128 pounds. So if you do, that's 64 ounces, and the magic number that I've read multiple sources over the last 10 years is half your body weight in ounces. So half your weight, whatever that is, 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces of water a day, and it's just a habit. 21 days, you could be a fantastic water drinker. You will have more energy, you'll talk faster, you'll have prettier skin, you'll look more like me if you drink more water, and you'll talk faster. So, and healthy, that's just one healthy habit. Sleeping better, that's a fantastic habit. Sleeping on your back instead of your stomach, that's a great habit for this year, a great goal. That's hard on you every night, so that's just a few of my little famous chiropractic tips. If you want to ensure a healthy life, structure alignment really is key. You could exercise all day. I've talked to professional athletes and people that have done yoga every day their whole life. You still can't correct misalignment and structural problems. The rest of it's on you, but that part you do need a professional. And we love to check people out and just see. You've mostly been checked out by a dentist, you know your blood pressure, you know some of those things, but if you haven't had your spine checked this year, this decade, it's time for a checkup. So I recommend that from somewhere so that you can really hit all your bases on having proper health. So again, the rest is up to you. There's a small piece we can do. I brought a couple pictures that I couldn't get on my slides, and I know if we're far away, but this is an example of a posture scan. So we take your picture from the front, from the side, from what you can't see, which even here, we look at where's your ear and where's your shoulder, and you can even see with me, if you can see my ear, that it's not lined up right over my shoulder. Therefore, I've got a posture problem, and so we analyze that. That's a free scan that we do. I brought another one that we do because a lot of your health comes from your feet. And so we scan feet like this and see, are you standing equally? Because that's your foundation. So hips and feet highly tie in together, and those are just free scans. So if you're ever curious about your feet, your posture, your alignment, that's something easy that we can do for you. But there's power in knowing how to change your health. That's what I find very exciting about what I do, is that when you know things, you can make changes. And again, January is a great time to use some of these secrets, even if you took one of them. If you started drinking water more, if you thought about exercise. I have in that Healthy Living to 100 talks about how simple it is to half your risk of cardiac incident. So 50% less likely you're going to have a heart attack this year if you walk 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That's not real hard. I'm not saying run a marathon or bike across the country, but walk for 30 minutes. It can be 10 minutes at a time. And that's great. So it doesn't have to be hard. And that's what the last year is, just start small. If you can manage a 5-minute walk, do that. But some kind of movement to help your body. You could work your way up to 30 minutes. You're really going to see a difference in flexibility. Your attitude about that. Again, you heard about exercise. None of those things are major secrets that exercise and eating healthy is good for you. It comes down to, why should I do that? I'm a big, tell me why, and I'll think about it. So why should you exercise? And it's a lot easier to say, why not exercise, really? Because if you want to live a long, healthy life, if you want to take care of your kids and your grandkids and just be able to go to work or do fun things, exercise is going to help you get there. And again, all it takes is 21 days to create this new habit. Lastly, because I call this health, which we've hit on, wellness, which we've hit on, attitude, I like to encourage people that you really can have a positive attitude. That's not supposed to be striking out there, it just moved a little bit. That optimists live longer than pessimists. And some people are naturally maybe not a pessimist, but a realist, and you can be healthier by training yourself to be more of an optimist. So there's lots of studies that show, back in 2002, attitude was more beneficial to longevity than your blood pressure or your cholesterol levels. So it's all in your head. It's a good phrase. So how to be positive? Be selective with who you associate with. Again, this year is a good time to see it. Am I surrounding myself with good, positive people? I've heard a quote that says, you are the collective sum of the 7 people that you surround yourself with the most. That affects who you are based on who those 7 people are. So select and prefer those people, and select and prefer positive words that you say to yourself. Think about what you're listening to. Are you putting in positive things there? Smile, laugh more. You've heard that laughter is the best medicine. That really is true. Believe in yourself. Believe in your goals. Set goals. I believe in setting goals at any age. What do you want to accomplish this year? And then another great little quote, what you think about, you bring about. If you think it's going to happen, you think something, it's very likely that you can bring that about. So you can go with that in a negative or a positive way. A lot of great benefits to being positive. Your coworkers will enjoy your positivity. So we're at 2100 Meadow Lake. We moved there last March. So we have chiropractic, we have wellness, we have massage therapists, we do rehab. We have a nurse practitioner now, so we're doing some things that are not being done that I'm aware of anywhere else in Conway. One thing for you folks that might have chronic knee pain, we do an injection called Suparts that's literally improving your cartilage. So most people are like, oh, bone on bone. This brings up the level of cartilage in your knees. So we're seeing great response with that. It's just another thing we can offer. So I say here's to a sweet 16. You get to, if you had a sweet 16 at one point, this is 2016. You can do it again and choose to make this your healthiest year ever. That's my encouragement for you guys today. We have a couple minutes, I believe, for questions. Anybody have questions about anything about us over at Hurley or health or wellness? Yes, sir.
What's the most important thing we can do to improve, say, our back health?
Your back health. Well, I would say number one is get your spine checked by a chiropractor and get adjusted. I can tell you, to exercise, to eat better, to sleep in a better position, go buy a mattress, sleep on a corrective pillow, take some supplements. But you could do all that and still be structurally misaligned, and you can't undo that. So that's really the only piece that you can't do yourself. The other pieces that I mentioned are just going to support that. So I would suggest that. Everybody wants some other answer usually that you can do yourself, and I recommend all those things in a supportive nature. Yes, sir.
What is your opinion or thoughts on the tracking mechanisms like Fitbit, things like that?
I think those are good because they just bring awareness. Like I mentioned, you don't know how many steps you're doing. You don't know how your sleep is. I talked to a personal trainer at a different business this morning about how he gets a lot of complaints about sleep, and he's got a sleep supplement, and people are wearing the Fitbit, and they can literally track that their sleep is improved with his supplement that has some melatonin and natural things into it. So just bringing your awareness, if wearing the bracelet makes you feel like I might make better health choices today, I think that's fantastic. Good question. Any other questions about anything?
I
Yes.
wanted to say one thing. I was one of those people that every time something broke, I would go to her and she'd fix it. And then I learned along the years, I was trying to think, I've been with you about 6 years. I've learned along the years that the best time to go is when things aren't broke. So when you go on a consistent basis, and I'm not that consistent because I have so many things that I juggle. I can't set appointments every week like I should, but I go as often as I can, at least twice a month. Because what happens is when you stay in line, nothing really breaks. Things don't happen, you don't have headaches, and then I have a 15-year-old son that plays football that's a migraine kid, and tested at Children's Hospital since he was 4 years old, missed a lot of school, missed most of first grade, which I've known you then. And he is anything barometric pressure, football, anything, he gets out of line. So he'll go practice, Coach Ashcraft, he's on him, they'll hit hard, he comes home, Mom, I'm getting a migraine, and we'll go in, and sure enough, his neck is sitting over here, his head. So they'll straighten it up. It's instant relief for him. No migraine medicine. I can't tell you how well that works and how much this has changed my life. I mean, I wish I could be a poster person because it
Pretty much
really changed my life with staying in line. So the moral of the story is it's better to go when things aren't broke. We've always got that when they are. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. And that really is true. It's the hardest thing that I can convince people, and it took me a long time to convince her until that car accident on how the routine maintenance really works. But it makes a huge difference. So if you're curious, come over, let us give it to her. I can't go anywhere without bringing some stuff. So I've got my crooked pins and just some little packets. So if you're curious, take a packet for you or a friend, and we just want to help more people. Was there any other question? Yes, sir.
What if you've had back surgery and you continue to have pain with your back?
Yes.
Continually.
That's a good question, and I have a lot of patients that have had back surgery. And one of the nice things about us, we have a lot of different tools, a lot of different techniques. We have a computerized adjusting instrument. I have shown the instrument and the way we adjust to orthopedic and neurosurgeons, and they have felt the impact of that and said it will not hurt anyone pre or post-surgical. I've had people with titanium rods and screws and mesh, and as soon as you're healed up from that surgery within a few weeks to a few months, it's 100% safe, to come get adjusted and still have relief. So that it's very common, after at least some point. Some people have relief for a year, 5 years, 10 years after surgery. But if there's still mobility issues, maybe you had surgery in your low back and now it's your neck, or even if it was low back surgery and now you still have low back pain, we can still safely work on things and analyze that. And in our experience, we see that a lot. And again, a good partnership with our nurse practitioner. One thing, because there may be a few Medicare age folks in here, Medicare was, with our nurse practitioner, she's able to order a lot of therapies that Medicare will truly pay very well for. So very little out of pocket for our Medicare patients to get a lot of services, adjusting and therapy and muscle work and rehab and all the balance things that we can do. So we're helping a lot of people with fall prevention. My most favorite patient ever is 90 years old. I've been treating her for most of the 10 years I've been there. And she even has noticed in the last year or so, she started having trouble getting up from a chair like this without arms. And we've gotten her in the gym, and we progressively help her be able to get out of a chair easier. So there's just lots of things that we can do throughout our providers in our clinic. So anytime you're curious, just come over and take a tour. We're in that corner, and it's bigger than most people think. We took up a lot of space back there, and we just want to help more people. So thank you for letting me come talk. Have a great rest of the day.
Dr. Bledsoe, what our club does in appreciation for our speakers, we adopt a project every year. And our project this year is the Newspapers and Education Program through the Log Cabin. So we'll be donating 50 newspapers in your honor to elementary school classrooms here in Conway. And teachers use those as part of their curriculum. So that's our thank you for coming and spending time with us today. All right, do we have any other announcements before we are dismissed? Kim Williams is going to be with us next week, so we've got a city update, a county update, a health update, and we're going to get downtown update next week. So, all right, if nothing, we'll stand and be adjourned with the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be of goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Y'all be safe.
Hey, how you doing?
Do you believe in chiropractic?
I've never been to one. I bet it'd feel good. But
I've been to one time. I pulled a muscle, and I had a headache that went on for 3 months. And I went to one of